I went to court. Judge Krause, what her name? Rachel, the one who they
Mhm.
tried. She was my judge. When I walked in her courtroom, they violated my rights.
So yesterday during the live by the lead attorney, Woody Copeland made an appearance, and it was probably the most I've seen Woody open up to anybody. So kudos to the lead attorney for getting Woody to open up. Woody talked about his experience, his past experience in the courtroom of Judge Krause or Judge Cross. She is the judge who currently has Judge Glanville's recusal hearing. And if you watched our videos from yesterday, if you heard the news, Judge Cross has declined to recuse herself. In other words, she says, I'm not passing this case on to anybody else. I'm going to handle it myself. And she also declined to recuse the entire Superior Court. Okay. So she said, no, this is staying with me. This is after Brian Steele noted in one of his motions that she should recuse herself because Glanville previously donated $2,000 to her reelection campaign. She said in her denial, she said, I don't care. That doesn't meet the standard. I'm staying. Okay. So let's take a look at what Woody said on the lead attorney's live. And by the way, lead attorney's knocking the ball out of the park. I'm going to leave a link for the live in the description. So go check that out. Now let's see what Woody has to say.
So even recently, like the last time I just got released, I went to court. Judge Krause, what her name? Rachel, the one who they
Mhm.
tried. She was my judge. When I walked in her courtroom, they violated my rights. It
Wait,
took them
wait.
like
Let me just back up here. Judge Glanville was the judge on this whole Young Thug case, and then Brian Steele. We've read all these motions, guys. Everybody's trying to get Brian Steele off the case. I'm not Brian Steele. Everybody's trying to get Judge Glanville off the case, and so now this case has been assigned to Judge Cross. And what you're saying is Judge Cross was the judge in your most recent criminal case.
the last one I just got out on.
What was that about?
When I got locked up in the land station, they put a fire on, they put a gun on me.
Oh, that one. Okay. And so Judge Cross was the judge for that.
Yeah, I never seen this judge before. I never heard of her. It was my first time going to friend her, and she was like, I know who you is.
Really?
I'm like, how you know who I am? So I don't know what type of story they got of me on there in that courthouse. But my lawyer, Melanie, he came through. He got me that bond. And
Mm-hmm.
the prosecutor, they tried everything in the power to get them to deny my bond. Because they really were holding me in jail. They
Mm.
wouldn't let me out. So they like he's a gang member. He's this, he that. The judge like, well, y'all didn't do y'all part. I gotta give him a bond. So they like, well, can you give him house arrest? Can you give him curfew? The judge like, no, it's just a possession charge. It's not that serious. So why wouldn't she give me a $30,000 bond and I get back to the jail? I can't. It's certain stuff I can't say, so I had to leave out.
Yeah.
But it took me 2 weeks to get out of jail. So me
Wow.
and Melnick going back and forth. Melnick tell me that, well, somehow the state went to the judge and now they ordered me an ankle monitor and abandoned me from zone 3 and banned me from on Bankhead. So
So it seems like Woody's saying at first the judge wanted to treat him fairly, but then once the prosecutors talked to her, she changed her tune up somewhat. That's the way I'm interpreting it. Well, what do y'all think?
when I first got out of jail, I'm in jail 2 weeks after I got a bond. They didn't put it in the system.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
So 2 weeks now. So I'm telling Melanie, like, bro, look, I'm losing my mind in here. Get ankle monitor, bro. I ain't tripping, bro. I ain't tripping. Get ankle monitor. So Melanie was like, you sure? So finally, I got putting the pressure on Melanie to sign off for it because I was tired of sitting in jail. They put me on house arrest. They put me on the house ankle monitor
Mm-hmm.
and told me I couldn't go nowhere within zone 3. I couldn't go on Bankhead. I can't talk to nobody that affiliated with any gang, specifically certain gangs. Take pictures, none of it. So this what they did to me. I tricked them when I got out of jail. They thought I
Mm-hmm.
was gonna be stupid and go back and violate my conditions so they could lock me back up. I stayed in the house.
Mm.
I stayed in the house. I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't go around nobody, nothing. So after like 3 months, they realized I wasn't gonna fall for it. They gave me a court date and told me that I could plead guilty to this charge. I'm like, well, I'm pleading guilty to a charge that I didn't have. They're like, well, this
Right.
is the only way you can get off the ankle monitor.
Jesus. And guys, listen, Georgia is really good for some reason about banishments. And a lot of times, especially in these rural counties that are white and they don't want your black ass in there, if they catch you in there, they will make a part of your sentence that you are banished from the county. That means that you can never go back. And if any police officer sees you within the county, they can arrest you, right? Because you were in violation of your plea agreement because you agreed to be banished from the county.
So
And mhm.
I didn't mean to cut you out, but you know the worst part about it?
Hmm.
That's why they gave me the ankle monitor.
Oh, they gave you the ankle monitor to track your location to see if you violated that.
No, they gave it to me because they just believed they knew I was gonna violate it.
Yeah, they know you're gonna be up there on Bankhead, huh?
But they gave it to me because they said APD is afraid of me. They don't want me on the street. They don't want me in Atlanta, and I'm public enemy number one to them. And so I'm hearing this from the state.
Jesus.
I'm not hearing this from my lawyer. I'm hearing this from the DA's mouth. I'm hearing this from the courts. Like, so I'm like APD. And once I'm hearing this, I'm like, I ain't never been a threat to the Atlanta police.
Right.
Only thing I ever did was ran from them. Like I ain't know, well, I can't say that, but
So that was Woody's interaction with Judge Krause. It sounds like he was not really throwing her under the bus so much as the prosecutors in the state who really were after him. It seems like she wanted to treat him fairly at first, but then the state convinced her to go a little bit harder on him. It is the state who's going to be in this case coming up with Glanville as well. So we're going to see what happens. I wanted to just highlight, underline, underscore, go back and touch on one thing real quick here. Remember, yesterday, Judge Krause declined to recuse herself, as I said earlier in this video. Everybody just be aware, Glanville did give her a $2,000 donation to her re-election campaign, okay? So Brian Steele, in his supplement motion for recusal, he said, hey, Glanville gave you $2,000 to your election campaign. Maybe that's a good reason you should step aside. And she said, I don't think so. In summary, Rule 2.11A4 provides that if contributions made to a judicial candidate or to that candidate's campaign committee are permitted by law and do not exceed the maximum allowable contribution, then there is no mandatory requirement that the judge recuse. You know what? I'm just going to look up. I'm going to see if I can find what the maximum allowable contribution is. All right, y'all, listen. Don't just take this for what it's worth, okay? I'm not saying that this is the absolute final word on the matter, but I did just do a quick search to try to find out what is the maximum allowable contribution, because that's what Judge Krause is referring to here. So let's take a look. I found this. It says contribution limits. On May 27, 2023, the Georgia Government Transparency and Campaign Finance Commission voted to adjust campaign contribution limits. The amounts were updated in August 2021. So the limit is for the primary and general. Looks like the old limit was $7,600 and the new limit is $8,400. That's the way it looks. That's the way I'm reading it. So they upped it by $800 here. And then for a runoff, you can contribute. You used to be able to contribute $4,400 and now you can contribute $4,800. So they upped that by $400. Other candidates, state, local, etc. So this was for statewide candidates. Other candidates, state, local, etc. So you have these limits, 3,000 that got upped to or raised to 3,300, and then for the runoff, 1,600 got raised by $200 to 1,800. So it appears that the maximum Glanville could have given would have been $8,400 for a statewide candidate or $3,300 for a local candidate. So either way, he was not even close to either one of those limits. So I guess Judge Krause is saying, hey, he didn't give me all the money he could have. So, we can still rule on this case. So anyway, that's just giving a little bit of background on Judge Krause, tying it in a little bit to Lil Woody. And we'll see what happens. Today, we are waiting for the state to file their answer with Judge Krause. Once that drops, of course, we'll be back with another video with analysis for that. And until then, thank you guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we'll be back a little bit later.